Hope you're doing good. Man, it's cold outside. That's one reason I'm doing this video today. I just want to reach out to you, especially those that I'm discipling and mentoring. I hope you're doing good. I want you to listen. Have the attitude of a listener. We're not having a conversation only, but I am teaching you and passing on what I have. And just like one of our young guys said, be the one. We need to be the one, okay? I'm encouraging you to be the one. I'm talking about love, the love attitude. I believe that God has called us to restore love back to our community. This is the Jesus love community. You guys know the scripture, John 13, 34 and 35, where Jesus says a new commandment, which is now the ancient commandment, 2,000 years later, a new commandment I give unto you, that you would have love for one another. And he says, by this all men shall know that you are my disciples, that I taught you. You belong to me because you have the brand of love. Yes, sir, we're restoring that back. We're learning how. We're students of love. We're learning how to communicate with one another. We're learning how to reach out to one another. We're learning how to call one another. We're learning how to do it on purpose. You know what I mean? That spirit. We're creating the spirit of the breath of love. We want it in our community. We want it in everything we do. We want it on, at the door. We want it, at the doors of the church when people come in. We want it when people are at home. They're checking up on each other. They're devoting themselves to love. The question is though, what is love? What is love? I'm going to read a couple scriptures. It says in Romans the 13th chapter, in the 8th verse, you can get this, but it says, let no debt remain outstanding except the continuing debt to love one another. Isn't that good? He who loves his fellow man has fulfilled the law. The commandments: do not commit adultery, do not murder, do not steal, do not covet, and whatever other commandments they may be are summed up in this one rule: love your neighbor as yourself. So there it is. We've got to love people like we love ourselves. We've got to love our wives like we love ourselves. We've got to love our neighbor, but also we've got to love one another so that when people come into our community, they're taken care of because we care for them. We won't lose them. We're going to love them like they're little kids. We would never lose our kids in a crowd, and we're not going to lose people. We're going to love people. We're going to care for them. This is something we're going to have to renew our mind to. We're going to have to learn how to do. It's not something that comes on naturally. Something the seed is in us, but we have to renew our mind. Romans the 12th chapter and the 2nd verse says, but be not conformed or fashioned to this world, but be renewed by the renewing of your mind. We're reprogramming our mind to care about people, to think about people. We're not just churchgoers, but we are doers. We're devoted to the love community, to the love word of Jesus, to love command of Jesus. That's what we're devoted to it. And so I just want to encourage you guys to just reach out. Love is action. Love is something that we do on purpose. It's not just something that we say, but it's something that we act out. John 3 and 16 says, for God so loved the world that he gave. So love gives. Love gives. Love cares. Love calls people. And then there's another scripture I'm going to read to you that is very powerful. This is, I've never really been able to get into this since I've been talking about this, but I want you guys to look this up. This is Hebrews the 10th chapter. Real fast. We're almost done here with this. It's Hebrews the 10th chapter, and it says, let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds. So it's love and good deeds. Let us consider in our mind. Let us stir up ideas of how we may love one another. So that's what I want you to do today. I want to encourage you guys because this is not just another teaching, but we're trying to get away from that religious mindset of where we're just being, it's a good word, pastor, and then not remember it. But we're trying to be devoted to the word of the Lord that God is giving us. God is giving us a couple of focuses. One is community. And that's what we're talking about here. We've got to care for one another. We're building this relational community.